Enough time has passed. We've already played about 8 La Liga matches. There's also been 2 Champions League games as well. So we have a large enough sample size for me to make this kind of video. Because what I want to do is brutally tier rank every Real Madrid and Barcelona player based on what we've seen so far this season. Now, before we get into that, we do gotta look at the La Liga table just to show you where both teams are during this international break. Madrid, top of the league. I'm starting to feel a bit lonely. Barcelona were there for a couple of days, but Sevilla made sure that they couldn't end there before the break started. Thank you to Sevilla, right? The only complaint that I have, you guys should have scored more than 4 goals, okay? Sevilla should have put at least 7 past Barcelona. But look, Real Madrid in 8 games, 7 wins, 1 loss. 19 goals scored, 9 conceded, 21 points. Barcelona are sitting second after 8 games, 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. They scored 22 goals, and they've also conceded 9, and they're on 19 points. Atleti, I mean, look, they've been out the title race since the second match day. They just fell off. They're in a top 4 race, okay? They're not competing for the title this season. We know that Atleti are frauds, right? We know that they generally do find a way to hang in there with us, but we all know they're not going to win it. As I always say, Atleti at the top of the table is like a fat elephant at the top of a very skinny tree. Nobody knows how you got there, but we all know it's coming down. So the title race is a 2-headed one at the moment. And I mean, this is to be expected, right? And to see that Real Madrid are top, this is exactly where I thought we'd be at this point. Obviously, Barcelona being a close second was to be expected as well. So this is what it's looking like in La Liga. And then with the Champions League, right? Real Madrid are currently sitting second after 2 games. We beat Marseille and we beat Kairat Almaty. And then Barcelona are sitting 16th. They beat Newcastle at St. James Park, but then they lost to PSG. So, you know, Barca got to get it together in the UCL, even though we know that you guys aren't going to win that, right? Now, let's get to the tier rankings. Before we start, let me just break it down for you. We got 5 tiers. At the top, great. Below that, good. In the middle, we got mid. I also added a tier for the players that barely played, where we can't really judge them because they haven't been on the pitch enough. And then at the bottom, we have trash. So I need you guys to get in the comment section and let me know what you're saying about my rankings and where would you have placed some of these players. Because I know that we're not going to all agree, and that's okay. We can definitely argue in Discord or we can argue in the chat. Wherever you guys want to hold smoke, you can. Make sure you smash that like button as well. Subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications. Now, the first player that we have up is João Garcia. He's been a great signing for Barcelona so far. I can't lie. I think he's been arguably their best player. He's bailed them out a lot of times. If it wasn't for Garcia, Barcelona could have lost another game this season against Vallecano. They were cooking Barca. And this guy was making big save after big save. The only poor performance that I can say that he's had is against Oviedo. Besides that, João Garcia has been in man of the match contention damn near every single game that Barca have played this season. And it's annoying because it looks like they found their number 1 keeper for the foreseeable future. I also think that he'll end up being the undisputed number 1 for Spain as well. He's been cooking since he's been brought in by Barca. I can't lie. He's been playing great. He's definitely putting himself in the conversation for best goalkeeper in Europe. Like, if he continues to play at the level that he's been, he's definitely going to be in those convos. And I do think he's going to miss El Clasico. So that is a boost for Real Madrid because Szczęsny is mid. right? That guy's a chain smoker. He's worried about the cigarettes that he's going to get to after the match. So, look, we'll see how Barcelona can cope with his injury. But so far, he's been great. And I think only getting him for $25 million is a steal as well. And he's from one of their biggest rivals in Espanyol. So, yeah, now that's mad. Jean Garcia has been great so far when he's been fit. But against Oviedo, he was dirt. Next, we got Eric Garcia. Now, I think Eric Garcia is mid. I don't rate this guy at all. I think he's a squad player at best. I don't think he's Barcelona quality. But to be fair to him, I think he has been one of Barca's better defenders this season, which is not a compliment to your back line. It shows how much you've been struggling if Eric Garcia has been one of your better players at the back. Now, for his level, and for what I expect from him, I would say that he's been good. He has been. He's been better than a lot of players that people rate over him, to be fair. So, even though I don't think he's a good player, I think he is having a good start to the season. So, we'll put him there to be fair. Courtois, I'll say he's been good. This season, he hasn't had to carry us like he has in the past. Xabi Alonso's come in, made us look a lot more compact, and Courtois has been reliable. He has made some big saves this season, but defensively, we just look so much better that it's not like Courtois has to make so many big saves like he did over the last, let's say, 24 months. But I wouldn't say that he's been great, if that makes sense. Like against Atleti, he was shockingly bad, right? And I think, for example, like against Villarreal, the last match, he did make a great 1v1 save, right? He has made, again, saves that have kept us in the lead. So, yeah, like, I'd say he's been good so far. Not great, which he normally is, but good. Next, we got Brahim Diaz. Mid. I mean, Diaz, I don't really rate him like that. I think he's an off-the-bench kind of player. Come on in the second half. He can start some matches against the lower opposition to give the better players a rest. But there's a reason why Franco has come into Madrid and just snatched his chain. Brahim hasn't really done anything with the opportunities that he's been given. Even last season, he was pretty mid. Like, he had some good performances. He is a very tidy player, right? Good dribbler, has some tech, can link play, has a decent shot on him, but he just doesn't perform at a high enough level consistently. I don't think he's impressed me at all this season. And I don't think any Madrid fans are really thinking that Brahim Diaz is somebody that needs to start. So, mid. We got Christensen next. I've watched a lot of Barca games. I feel like this guy has barely played. Like, Hansi Flick has not really relied on Andreas Christensen. And I think, arguably, he could be starting. Because the way that Barca back line has looked, I don't see what's keeping Christensen from getting more minutes. Barca's back line has been food. And I think Christensen is a player that does have good ability. I don't rate him that highly, but I feel like he should be getting some more minutes this season, to be honest. Especially now that Inigo Martinez is no longer at their club. But, yeah, I feel like he just hasn't played that much. So I'm going to put him in the barely/hasn't played. Next, we got Arda. What a baller. I'm going to put him in the good category. I don't think he's been great because he has had some lackluster performances multiple times this season. But Arda Güler is an absolute baller. Do you guys know that he has created the most chances in Europe this season? The link up between him and Mbappé, like, their chemistry is fantastic. They're moving like Ozil and CR7, bro. But Arda Güler in that midfield has been a breath of fresh air. I think Xabi Alonso coming in, and instead of playing him on the wings, playing him in the midfield, that's just been phenomenal, bro. Like, Arda Güler is going up levels this season. And I think by the time, if he can continue playing at this level, I think by the time this season ends, we will be considering him world-class. Because I already think he's world-class. I just need him to put it together for a majority of a season for me to really start speaking with chest about it. But Arda Güler is an absolute baller. Like, the guy can score goals. He knows where to be in the box. He links up play. He can receive the ball from the back line. He's our most creative player in that midfield. His passing is phenomenal. Has a good shot on him as well. And the only reason that he's not in the great category is because he has had multiple games where he's been mid, but he's gotten like GA, for example. Like against, who was it? Like, so for example, Marseille, he was shit in our first Champions League match. I think, like against Kairat, I believe, did Arda not get an assist that game? But he didn't really play that well. But overall, though, he has been playing at a very high level. So I'm going to say that Arda is in the good category. If he was able to be a little bit more consistent with his overall performances, he would be in great. Also, I feel like he lacks fitness because Xavi takes him out every game. It's like Arda can't play more than like 70 minutes or else he's gassed, right? He doesn't really have the stamina for it. So, hopefully he's able to get his lungs up. But now Arda has been super good for us. He's been one of the best players since Xabi Alonso has come in. Next, we got man like Julia Koundé. Where do I place you? Because I don't think Koundé has been good at all. He's not been trash, even though against PSG and against Sevilla, he was trash. He was. Did not play good. But overall, I'll put him in mid. I'll put him in. I am thinking about putting him in trash. But I think that might be a bit too harsh, okay? This guy needs to stop worrying about high heels and skirts. He needs to start worrying about defending. Last season, Koundé was arguably one of the best right backs in world football. This season, he's kind of fallen off a cliff. But I'm gonna be lenient. I'm gonna give him mid. But I'm looking at that trash section saying, brother, you're not too far off from there. Next, we got Pedri. I mean, everybody knows his quality. Pedri is arguably the best midfielder in the world. I do think Barcelona fans glaze him a bit too much. I've seen him have mid performances, like against Newcastle. He was mid against Sevilla, for example. So I'm gonna put him in good. I think Pedri's been good this season. I don't think Pedri's been playing at the level that we all expect every single game, right? Like, I don't think he's been better than Joan Garcia, in my opinion, in terms of impact. Now, yes, his importance to the team is very high, right? Obviously, he's that controller in Barcelona's midfield. He's the one that dictates the tempo and these different things. But, yeah, for me, Pedri's just been good. I don't think he's been great, but he has been one of Barca's better players. So, yeah, we're going to put Pedri in the good tier. But it does look weird having Pedri in the same tier as Eric Garcia. So, because of that, Eric Garcia's got to get dropped down to mid. Because there's no way that Courtois, Arda, and Pedri are in the same tier as Eric Garcia. Nah. To be fair, Eric Garcia has been their best defender, though, this season, arguably. So, all right, you know what? Fuck it. We'll keep him in good. Next, we got Trent. I think Trent's been mid. He has shown some flashes, right? He's shown us his quality, right? He's shown us why we've brought him in different games. Like against Mallorca, for example, his passing was a joke. But I still think Trent is trying to fit into the system, and he's trying to adjust to the tempo of La Liga, right? It's a lot slower than the Premier League. I don't think Trent, even since the Club World Cup, I don't think he's come in and has just smashed it, right? He's shown his quality in moments, but he hasn't consistently played at a high level. I still think he's the future for us at right back, but he's fighting with Dani Carvajal right now for minutes, and both of them are currently injured. But when Trent was fit, he has been mid. I do think he's going to end up putting together great performances. I think Trent's going to end up cooking. He is the future for us at right back, but so far, he's just not been good. He's not been great, but he's not been trash. So mid for Trent. Alaba is next. He just hasn't really played enough, to be honest. Like Alaba, this is his last season. The guy is our second highest paid player, and he's just not at that level. Like when we signed him from Bayern, remember, Alaba at Bayern was considered one of the best players in the world. Alaba at left back, a lot of people might forget, but he was an absolute monster at Bayern. Comes to Real Madrid, gets a massive contract because we gave him, we got him for free. But aside from maybe like one season, he hasn't really lived up to the money that he's on. But yeah, Alaba hasn't really played like that. Like, he's not really been relied on. And hopefully we don't have to rely on him this season. Hopefully no more injuries. Next, we got Marc Bernal. Yeah, I'm going to have to put him in the barely played. He's come back from his ACL injury. And I actually do rate Marc Bernal. I think this kid's a baller. I think he's going to be world class in the future. But so far, I mean, his minutes have been scarce. And with those minutes, it's not like he's really done anything crazy with them. So he would have either been in mid, but because he's been coming on in the second half, end of games, not really getting that much PT, yeah, we're going to have to put him in the barely has played. Next, we have Raul Asensio. Now, Club World Cup, this guy was trash. But I think since La Liga has started, and since he's been getting more opportunities, he's been mid. Has some good performances, but has also had some bad ones. So it kind of just balances each other out. I think Asensio's been mid. Definitely been a lot better than what he was in the Club World Cup. But he's not somebody that I feel too confident in being in that back line, right? He's a very rash player. Very hot-headed as well. But, yeah, he's been okay so far this season. Next, we got Ferran Torres. See, I feel like there should be a category between good and mid, but I don't even know what that would be. Like, that's where I would place Ferran Torres, because he has taken advantage of the opportunities that he's been given this season with GA, but just overall, though, yeah, he's a very mid player. Like, they call him the shark, but to me, he's the tuna, the goldfish, the snack that smiles back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what Ferran Torres is. A steady Eddie, but he has been better than Lewandowski this season, right? So, I mean, that is saying something, but Lewandowski's been, we'll talk about that when we get to him. But yeah, I think Ferran Torres has been mid. Next, we got Jude Bellingham, has barely played. Guy was injured, has been back for the last, 3 or so games. Didn't really look that good against Atleti. Looked better in the matches after that, but he hasn't played enough for me to really rank him so far this season. Next, we have Szczęsny, who has been playing since Joan Garcia has been out, and we're going to just put him in mid, right? Szczęsny's not really done anything to necessarily affect Barca negatively, even though you could say that he could have saved some of those goals against Sevilla, but the way that Sevilla were opening up Barca's midfield and back line, they were never going to really stop, or Szczęsny was really going to never be able to contain all that pressure. I think against PSG, he was pretty mid as well. So, yeah, this is where we're going to have him. Next, we got Gavi. Oh, brother. I mean, Gavi's injured. I mean, somebody tell me, what does Gavi do? I'm actually struggling to remember. I mean, Gavi looked good in preseason, but since then, what has Gavi actually done, chat? And I know that people think that I hate this guy. I really don't. I just don't rate him. I don't think Gavi's a good footballer at all. I'm leaning towards putting him in trash, to be honest. But then I feel like that might be a bit harsh, because I think the guy's only played about 2 games this season, and he didn't look that bad in them. So we'll put Gavi in mid, even though I think he's a trash footballer. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gavi's just here to run around, foul players, and do it for Instagram, for TikTok. Mendy has barely played. I have no idea what's happened to this guy. He's literally been sent to the gulag. They said he was going to be back in September. There's really not been any updates on Ferland Mendy. This brother spends more time with the trainers than he does his teammates. It's mad. Next, we got Kubarsi. Oh, my days. Kubarsi. I mean, Kubarsi's been dirt. I'll be real. Kubarsi's been trash this season. He's not looked good at all. He is struggling right now in that Hansi Flick system. For somebody that's supposed to be a generational defender, somebody that was rated as highly as he's been, for the performances that he's been putting in, he has been trash. I think Kubarsi has regressed since he's broken into Barca's first team, to be honest. And while we're talking about trash, Araújo is right there with him. Dirt. Awful. Both of these players. Like, the fact that Barcelona have only conceded 9 goals in La Liga, they are lucky. They are very lucky with the amount of big chances that they allow. Now, maybe you could say Hansi Flick is to blame for why they've been trash. But, yeah, for me, like, they've just not been good at all. And I don't know if I'm being too harsh here. But, like, when I've watched Araújo, like, against Sevilla, what is he doing? Giving up that penalty. All the, you know. Am I being too harsh here, chat? Like, Kubarsi and Araújo at trash. Is that too much? I don't think so. Rooney Bargi, mid. I don't think he's looked bad, but he's not really impressed me like that. He had a chance to equalize or at least get some kind of comeback going for Barcelona against Sevilla, and this guy missed a clear 1v1. But he actually looked pretty decent in that game. I think he's been solid with the minutes that he's gotten, right? He's been getting a lot more opportunities now that Yamal's out with pubic discomfort. So, yeah, I'd say Barney's been mid. Next, we got Rafinha. Rafinha's been mid as well. This guy is on fraud watch, okay? This Bolivian, this Peruvian Dan James, okay? Yeah, he's not looked good at all this season for what we saw last season, right? I think mid is about right. He's had, like, maybe 2 good performances, most notably against Valencia, where he came off the bench and absolutely cooked. But, yeah, Rafinha's just been whatever this season. Like, he's not looked like the Ballon d'Or level that we saw last season. And I told you guys, I wanted to see if he was going to be able to do it again. So far, it's not looking like that. But the season's still early. We'll see. Franco Mastantuono. Man like Slim Shady. 2001 Eminem. He's been mid. Yo, it's so many players that are here in mid. It's actually kind of jarring now that I think about it, because why aren't more of these players standing out? Especially the Madrid guys. Come on, man. But nah, Franco's been mid. He's gotten a lot of opportunities, and he has some really good quality, like his dribbling, his close control, his link-up play, his off-the-ball work rate. Very good. But what's pissing me off is his finishing. In the final third, this guy should have more goals than the one that he does already. But I think he does have to perform a little bit better. I'm gonna say Franco has just been mid so far for us, but I think he does have world-class potential, and I think he is going to get better. But so far, hasn't been good or great. Next, we got Militao. Fucking hell, another guy that's gonna be in mid. I think he's been solid for us this season. Has been one of our better defenders, looked better than Rodrygo, looks better than Alaba, is not better than Huijsen, but coming off the back of 2 torn ACLs, I'd say Militao's been playing decent, for sure. Scored a great goal in one of our games, that won, I think, goal of the month for La Liga. But, yeah, you know, nothing really to talk about with Militao, but he has been good next to Huijsen in certain games. But I think overall, it's just been mid. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh here, chat. Like, what are you guys saying? Definitely let me know in the comment section, because it is something to talk about, right? I think it is a bit concerning that most of our defenders just haven't been all that. But, yeah, Militao, I'd say he's been mediocre this season. Again, maybe if there was a tier between good and mid, that's where he would be. Let's go. Next, we got Fermin Lopez. I think he is their best option for the number 10 when it comes to either him or Danny Olmo, right? But besides the game against Valencia, Furman, I ain't gonna lie, bro, he's not really looked that good. He's not. Has he been mid or trash? I'm gonna say mid. I'm gonna say I do feel like I'm being a bit too harsh here on Cubarsí and Araújo, chat. I do think I am being a bit harsh. I think for Cubarsí's level and for what you expect from a player like him, he has been trash. But at the same time, I feel like he's just been mid, bro. Like, we'll put him in mid. Now, Araújo, he's been trash, for sure. But I don't think that Cubarsí should be starting for Barca, bro. Like, I don't think he's been good enough to be starting week in, week out. Does that make sense, people? But, yeah, let me know if I'm being a bit lenient here. Because I feel like I am. But, yeah, nah. Araújo's not been good. He's been trash. I think Cubarsí slightly above him, but, fucking hell. Yeah, we'll just have him. Yeah, we'll put Cubarsí in mid. We'll put him in mid. But, I don't know. Maybe trash is where he should be, bruv. Next, we got Lamine Yamal. I think he's been good. Not been great this season, but he's been good so far. He's been injured, right? The freakiest winger in La Liga, right? Man like Lamine Yadidi out there, you know, RKOing midgets. Or, sorry, dwarves. My fault. You know, sorry to all the short people. We shouldn't be saying that word. You know what I'm saying? Dwarves. But, like, when he's been fit, I mean, he's been their best player in the final third. I think Lamine Yamal is Barca's most important player. Even though they've won games without him, his impact on matches, like, you can literally see the difference when he's not there, bro. Like, he's instant impact every single time he steps on the pitch. Even though last time we saw him, he was in Nuno Mendez's pocket. But, yeah, I'm going to say Lamine Yamal has been good when he's been out there. Ceballos, mid. Steady Eddie. I think he's a very unique profile in our midfield, right? Like, Dani Ceballos is the kind of player where in our team, we don't have a controller like him. And I think Ceballos has all the tools to be a very good player. He's just not consistent. So, yeah, I'll say mid, because he has had some good performances for us this season, but more times than not, he's just been whatever. Next is Camavinga. Hasn't really played like that. I think Camavinga's going to have a big role this season. I think with the quality that he has with Xabi Alonso's system, yeah, he's going to cook. Trust me. But, yeah, him and Jude haven't played like that, but Jude and him being fit now, after this international break, I think they're going to run it up. Lewandowski, trash. Garbage. It's time to learn Arabic, Habibi. You feel me? Like, Arabic or English, you're finished. I do not think that he will be at Barca next season. They need to sign a striker. Lewandowski just looks way off of it. No pace, no link-up play in the box. Isn't really been that effective. Airily doesn't look as dominant. Like, he's definitely fallen off big time. Lewandowski has been shit. I don't think he should be starting either. I think Hansi Flick got to find a way to, get somebody else up front. Because, like, Lewandowski so far has just not been good. Tchouaméni. I think this guy's been one of our better players underneath Xabi Alonso. I think he's been arguably the best DM in the world. The guy's been playing like this hybrid role of center back and DM. Gonna put him in the good category. I've been very impressed by Tchouaméni underneath Xabi Alonso. He's been absolutely cooking. But not every game, right? Like, Tchouaméni has definitely had some performances that were shaky. But for a majority of the time, he's been very good. So, yeah, he's definitely in that tier. Mbappé, great. And Mbappe's been absolutely cooking for us. Mbappé is on route to winning the Pichichi again. I think he's going to be in that golden boot conversation. He has been on a very good tear, right? Like, when I think of Mbappé, this is the best version of him that I think I've ever seen. I think we're seeing 21-22 season Mbappé right now. Like, that's how good he looks. He looks faster. His first touch looks a lot better. His finishing has greatly improved. We are literally Mbappé FC at the moment. Like, this guy is bagging all of our goals. He has been great this season. And if he can maintain this form, and if we can also go on to win things, I think Mbappé is definitely one of the favorites for the Ballon d'Or next season. But we're going to have to see how the World Cup goes, because I think that's going to be a big factor as well. So, yeah, I'm going to have Mbappé in the great tier. Now, next is my guy Vinícius, who is giving Lamine Yamal a run for his money with freakiest wingers. Now, Vinícius is a bit weird because I think a lot of us will agree he could do a lot better, especially knowing what he's capable of. But his numbers have been very good. Like, GA-wise, Vinny is, I think, second behind Mbappe in GA, right? Like, Vinny is finding ways to be impactful, right? Against Villarreal, the last game before the international break, was maybe his best performance of 2025. But I'm going to have to put Vinny in mid because I don't think he's been consistent enough. Like, I expect a lot more from Vinícius. Even though he's getting the numbers, I don't think the performances have been at an adequate level. And Vinny's my guy. You know I back him. But yeah, it's just been mid, bro. Next, we got, is this Marc Casado? I mean, Casado has played, not like a lot of minutes. I'm going to put him in the barely played category. He hasn't really made an impact anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Valverde, mid, which is so crazy to say, man. Having Valverde in the mid-tier just seems wild, bro. Valverde is Mr. Reliable. Everybody loves Fede Valverde. But since Xabi Alonso's been here, he's not been at his best level. Like, he's had good performances, but most of the times, I can't say that Valverde's been good. I think he's just been okay. I think Xabi has to find a way to get him more involved, right? I think, to be fair, since Xabi's come in, Valverde's looked his best at right back / right wing back. I think that's where he can carve out a role. But does Xabi want to use him there? Because the midfield is stacked at Madrid, right? He's going to have to fight with Jude, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Arda Güler, etc. So Valverde's going to have to step up his performances. But yeah, he's been very mediocre this season. I cannot lie, bro. Yeah, like Valverde has been not the best. So yeah, we'll have to put him there. Endrick, barely played. Actually, he has not played. Forget barely. Brother has not seen the pitch since he's been fit. I don't think Endrick's going to play a lot this season unless he leaves on loan. Like, I don't really see when he gets an opportunity. He's behind Gonzalo Garcia in the pecking order. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Rough days for Endrick. Gonzalo, barely played. Started one match, did not look good in that game, and then has gotten, like, microwave / Make-A-Wish kid minutes off the bench. So he hasn't really done enough for me to really judge him, to be honest. Frankie de Jong, I think Frankie's been mid. Solid performances, but he hasn't been good, hasn't been great. Just decent. Alejandro Balde, I think he's been mid. How many games has he played? I know Balde, yeah, he hasn't looked good this season, right? And I rate this player. I think he's quality, but he hasn't been anything to really speak of lately. Like, I know he was injured a bit, but even when La Liga first started, he didn't really do much. Didn't really make that much of an impact. Against PSG, didn't really do too much. Against Sevilla, came off the bench, won a penalty. But yeah, like, Balde's just been mid, bro. Rudiger. Where are we going to put Rudiger? So, I think he's fallen off. I think he has. Rudiger in the Club World Cup was not good. And I think Rudiger this season has just been mid. Honestly. Mid. I don't really think that he should be a starter at Real Madrid anymore. And this is his last season as well, I believe. Him and Alaba. So, I mean, look. A couple seasons ago was arguably the best defender in the world. But the injuries have caught up to him. So, yeah, we're going to have to put him in mid. Lunin has not really played, bro. Like, no, he's not played, period. I don't think, no. Like, Lunin has not played at all. I definitely would have liked to have seen him start against Kairat Almaty. I think that could have been a good opportunity. But I feel like we're not going to see Lunin until like Copa del Rey. Or maybe towards the end of the Champions League once we lock up a top 8 spot. Maybe then. But Lunin's a very good goalkeeper. I mean, we saw his level in the 23-24 season. Top 5 goalkeeper in the world, arguably. But yeah, it hasn't really played like that. Same thing with Fran Garcia. He started to get some minutes lately, but the guy has barely played. I feel like he hasn't really made that much of an impact either, so I would have put him in the mid category, but yeah, he's hardly got minutes. So we'll put him here. Next, we got Rodrygo, the Mumbai Neymar, the Sri Lankan Ronaldo, the Bangladeshian Messi, mid. He's a backup now. He's a squad player, a super sub. Coming off the bench, I don't think that Rodrygo has made as much of an impact as I would have expected. A majority of his minutes have been on the left. He has had some good performances, but let's not act like Rodrygo's been tearing it up whenever he gets opportunities. I think he's been mid so far this season. Next, we got Marcus Rashford. Rashford, GA-wise, has looked good. But similar to Vinícius, even though he's getting GA, his overall performances have been mid. I think he has been better than Rafinha. And I think Rashford does have a shout to get a lot more minutes. But GA does not mean that you're performing like great, right? Like, again, he's getting the numbers. He's been impactful in the games that, you know, they've been missing. Yamal, Rafinha, for example. But, like, I've watched Rashford have mid performances, but then get an assist or get a goal. And then everybody's talking like he did something fantastic that game, where he was just mid. So, yeah, I'm going to say Rashford's been mid. But he has been better than what I expected early on. Ter Stegen barely played. This brother's been injured. Well, no, has not played. Alvaro Carreras. I will say that he's been good. Besides the Atleti match, Alvaro Carreras was looking like one of the best defenders in La Liga. He was absolutely cooking up until that Atleti game where they just finished him, bro. Like, they were just taking turns. They were passing Alvaro Carreras around like Bonnie Blue whenever she's doing one of her 30v1 challenges or something like that, bro. Like, Carreras was awful against Atleti. But in general, though, besides that performance, he's been good, bro. Like, Alvaro Carreras has been our second best signing this season. Next, we got Dani Olmo, trash. Man like Megan Rapinoe. I know that he's dealing with an injury right now. Brother, I'm seeing Barcelona fans on the timeline celebrate Dani Olmo's injury. Do you know how mad that is? Like, people are saying that Olmo getting hurt is a blessing in disguise. Next, we got Dean Howson, who I think has been very good. Very good. Again, just like Alvaro Carreras was trash against Atleti. But besides that, he's been our best defender. He's been our best signing this summer. He's been at a very high level. I think this guy is an absolute baller. I think he's the best defender for Spain in terms of center back. I think he's the best center back in La Liga. I'm just being very honest, bro. I think he's an absolute baller. But, yeah, like, you cannot have performances like that, which you did against Atleti. So, we're going to have to see if he can do it consistently, these performances. But potential-wise, this guy is phenomenal. Deep-lying playmaker at center back, bro. His passing is phenomenal. Aerial threat as well. Defensively, very solid in 1v1s. Yeah, I think he's just a complete player, to be honest. And then to end us off, we got Gerard Martin, who I think has just been mid. Didn't they call this guy Gerard Maldini, if I'm not mistaken? What nickname did Barca fans have for him? But here's my rankings. Let me know what you guys are saying. If you agree, pretty sure that some of you guys are going to have issues with where I've placed certain of these players. Let's argue. Like I said, get in the Discord or get in the chat. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications.